Would you mind taking my seat?
That was awkward. Let's have another look at it.
Now let's talk about Meghan Markle's latest moment that had Paris whispering louder than ever. Meghan strutted into Fashion Week like she was ready to own the runway, expecting flashbulbs, cheers, and chaos. But what she got instead was silence. A duchess sitting front row at Balenciaga should have had cameras snapping non-stop, but this time, even the applause stayed home. The whispers weren't about her outfit or her style. They carried something way more uncomfortable. From afar, it looked like her big, glamorous comeback. Flashes popping, heels clicking, lights catching every move. But inside that venue, the energy told another story. Insiders say when Meghan entered, the air shifted. No warm smiles, no hugs, just cold stares. One stylist said, just eyes watching her, judging. That wasn't admiration, it was suspicion. In Paris, silence cuts deeper than gossip, and Meghan felt that chill hard. Even the paparazzi seemed tired of pretending. They snapped their shots like it was routine, not excitement. Editors, usually desperate for a selfie, kept their phones tucked away. One fashion insider spilled that no one wanted to be caught standing too close. Imagine that. In a world where being seen with someone is currency, Meghan suddenly looked like bad investment. And the reason? It wasn't a scandal splashed across the tabloids. It was something stranger. Whispers backstage claimed her presence was difficult, not because she was rude, but because of her aura. Or worse, her scent. People backstage said it smelled like cheap perfume fighting a losing battle against stress. One stylist joked, "You can fix foundation, but you can't fix that." Whether that's truth or exaggeration, the gossip spread like wildfire. By the end of the night, no one cared about Balenciaga's designs. They were all talking about Meghan in Paris. Scandals fade, arrogance can even be chic, but bad hygiene, that's pure social exile. And if that smell rumor wasn't enough to shake things up, the outfit drama took things to a whole new level. In fashion, what you wear isn't just fabric, it's a message. And insiders spilled that Meghan's look had one loud message. She wasn't in the inner circle anymore. Sources revealed her outfit wasn't gifted or custom, it was borrowed straight from the sample rack, tags still hanging, no tailoring, no couture treatment, no special fittings, just standard samples. In an industry where true icons are showered with designer pieces to keep forever, Meghan's situation was a quiet humiliation. One stylist whispered Balenciaga didn't crown her. They tolerated her. That's cold. Out front, she held her chin high, flashing smiles like she ruled the city. But those inside said Paris saw straight through the act. The glamorous Duchess image she tried to sell didn't match how the fashion elite treated her. She wasn't being styled as a muse or an icon, she was just a placeholder. And in fashion, that's the cruelest rejection of all. When she strutted out of that show, the contradiction was blinding. Meghan wanted a fresh start, a powerful rebirth. But Paris handed her a brutal reality check. And just when everyone thought the night was over, the whispers got even darker. Another rumor started spreading. One that gave people chills. When Meghan left the Balenciaga show, people assumed she'd vanish into the Paris night. Instead, talk began that she had driven through the Alma Tunnel, the very same tunnel where Princess Diana's life ended. At first, it sounded like coincidence, but as one fashion journalist said, in this city, nothing is coincidence. Her team rushed to do damage control, saying Meghan had no idea and that the route was just a random drive back to her hotel. But longtime observers weren't buying it. Former friends claimed she'd studied Diana's funeral clips over and over. Others remembered how obsessed she was with royal biographies. Every page, every detail. One commentator summed it up perfectly. This is a woman who knows her symbols. There's no way she didn't know, and once the internet got hold of it, chaos. TikTok edits popped up showing Meghan's car gliding through that tunnel next to footage of Diana's final moments, set to haunting music. On Twitter, hashtags exploded, by some calling her bold, others calling it disturbing. One post went viral saying, "It's one thing to admire Diana. It's another to cosplay her tragedy." The backlash was fierce. The reaction mixed outrage with disbelief, spreading faster than any PR campaign could hope to catch. In Paris, a city that still mourns Diana, that tunnel isn't scenery, it's sacred ground. Local tabloids questioned Meghan's intentions while international outlets quietly wondered, was that drive an accident or a statement? She cruised around Paris like it was her personal runway, heels kicked up, flashes following every move. But what really caught people's attention wasn't her outfit or her smile. It was where she went. Meghan's car reportedly drove right near the same tunnel where Princess Diana tragically lost her life, and the internet went wild. Critics came in fast, saying it was disrespectful, tone-deaf, or worse, deliberate. Nobody could say for sure if she planned it, but the whispers only got louder. One outlet carefully hinted it might have been intentional, writing, "We can't accuse, but we can't ignore either." That subtle phrasing only made the rumor burn hotter. Behind closed doors, fashion insiders started connecting dots, asking, why would Meghan risk such powerful symbolism? Why flirt with a legacy that already haunts her image? One editor even told colleagues, this isn't branding, it's obsession. To them, her Paris trip wasn't about couture or celebrity power. It was about trying to rewrite the Diana story frame by frame. But instead of earning admiration, it backfired hard. The comparisons to Diana, elegant, beloved, tragic, only made Meghan's moves look desperate and eerie. Fans who still adored Diana saw the moment as straight-up disrespect. Comment sections turned brutal. One top comment said, "Diana was loved." Meghan is pretending others called out Harry, wondering how he could stay silent through something so triggering. If Harry cries when he talks about that tunnel, one viral post read, how could she treat it like a photo op? Thousands agreed. By the end of Fashion Week, Meghan's Paris story wasn't about fashion anymore. It was about that car ride, that tunnel, and the haunting reminder of a princess she could never replace. And just when it seemed like the drama might cool off, it twisted again. Because the next revelation hit where it hurt most, her hypocrisy. The same Meghan Markle who once stood on global stages saying she was a victim of cruel tabloids now seemed tangled in the very same media game. For years, she claimed the press hunted her, twisted her truth, and tried to break her. That history was repeating itself with Harry as the broken witness watching it all happen again. But Paris reminded everyone of something crucial. Who really profited from Diana's tragedy? It wasn't just tabloids chasing clicks. It was people selling her story, shaping her legacy, and cashing in on her memory. And now, critics were asking the hard question. If Meghan truly sees herself as Diana 2.0, shouldn't she be the first to avoid repeating that same exploitation? Even British tabloids, the ones she blames for everything, couldn't resist the irony. Insiders started reminding everyone of one brutal fact. Those haunting final images of Princess Diana's last hours weren't sold by British tabloids at all. They were bought, aired, and broadcast by none other than CBS, the very same American network Harry and Meghan later chose for their explosive sit-down with Oprah. The contradiction couldn't be louder. Commentators were quick to call it out. How do you condemn the press for exploiting tragedy? One media analyst asked, and then hand your story to the same network that cashed in on it. Even reports from Harry's own circle claimed that some friends warned him the CBS deal was a mistake, a painful echo of history that should have been left alone. But Meghan reportedly pushed forward. When Oprah's cameras started rolling, the same network that once turned Diana's death into a ratings frenzy now turned Meghan and Harry's pain into a global spectacle. For critics, that wasn't just irony. It was hypocrisy playing out live in prime time. Social media didn't let it slide either. Reddit threads started surfacing receipts, the screenshots of CBS's coverage from the 90s, lined up right next to Meghan's Oprah interview clips. One viral post read, she blames tabloids for Diana's suffering but works with the network that aired her last moments. How do you explain that? It wasn't a niche conversation and it blew up across platforms. People started saying Meghan's victimhood wasn't authentic. It was curated, controlled, and monetized. And it wasn't just online chatter. Hollywood insiders began noticing too. One veteran publicist told Variety, authenticity sells, hypocrisy kills. In their eyes, that CBS moment was the exact point where Meghan's credibility started to crumble. And when Paris Fashion Week brought Diana's ghost back into the headlines, that fragile image shattered completely. Suddenly, the whispers weren't just about her fashion, they were about her integrity. Behind the glitz and carefully crafted speeches, more reports started surfacing. Allegedly, some of Meghan's humanitarian statements and personal writings were ghost-written, recycled from ideas already floating around the industry. Former staffers described her as demanding without direction. someone obsessed with the image of leadership but unsure how to actually lead. Combine that with the CBS controversy, and Paris painted a clear picture. A duchess more focused on optics than truth. Fashion insiders couldn't ignore it either. In the luxury world, front row seats aren't handed out just for fame. They're given to people who mean something culturally. And when Paris looked at Meghan, what it saw wasn't inspiration or glamour. It was contradiction. That's what stung the most. Paris didn't just expose her hypocrisy, it amplified it for the world to see. The same woman who built her brand on empowerment and authenticity was now seen as out of touch, overproduced, and out of favor. By the third day of Paris Fashion Week, the buzz around Meghan Markle had flipped. She wasn't being discussed as the dazzling duchess or comeback queen anymore. She was being dissected as the fallen favorite, frozen out by an industry that had quietly decided it was done pretending. It wasn't about the outfit anymore, not the heels, not the tunnel. It was about something colder, what insiders started calling the cold shoulder. Designers who usually scramble to dress A-listers suddenly acted like Meghan didn't even exist. One photographer claimed, "I've never seen a duchess stand alone for so long in a lobby." That shot, Meghan standing by herself, chin high, cameras flashing, but not a single peer beside her, went viral in seconds. Social media had a field day. Twitter flooded with brutal side-by-side photos. Meghan in borrowed Balenciaga versus Rihanna draped in couture, Zendaya embraced by Valentino, Kim Kardashian surrounded by Balenciaga's creative team. The captions were savage. One post read, "One of these women was invited, the other borrowed the invite." Hashtags like hashtag empty chair energy and hashtag borrowed couture. Paris started trending, and suddenly, the city of light turned Meghan into the internet's shadow. Even the fashion media, usually polite with celebrity missteps, didn't hold back. French editors threw subtle shade that hit like daggers. One wrote, "Paris does not reward pretense. Clothes must fit the spirit, not just the body." Another commented that her look felt assembled, not bestowed, which in fashion speak basically means you weren't chosen, you were tolerated. Those quiet lines said everything. In this industry, looking desperate is far worse than being forgotten, and the tunnel whispers made the rejection sting even more. TikToks began circulating, cutting between clips of Harry's emotional interviews about Diana and shots of Meghan posing in Paris. One viral caption read, "He cries. She poses." It pulled millions of views in under a day. People couldn't look away. Commentators were ruthless. They said Paris didn't just reject Meghan's style, it rejected her symbolism. One cultural critic wrote, "Diana was authenticity in motion. Meghan is simulation in still frames." Paris saw the difference. That single line summed it all up. The city wasn't buying the act anymore. And the fallout didn't stop with fashion. Reports started surfacing that other celebrities were quietly being warned to keep their distance. One stylist even overheard a PR rep whisper, "Being seen too close is a risk right now." That's brutal in a world where alliances are everything. For someone like Meghan, who built her brand on elite connections, that kind of silent freeze-out was career poison. Instead of building bridges, Meghan was burning them. Fast. And the irony? The very fans who once defended her against the monarchy now started flipping sides. Twitter threads popped up saying, "Maybe the firm saw something we didn't." One post with tens of thousands of likes read, "We were so busy defending her we missed the signs." That shift, from sympathy to suspicion, marked the true breaking point. Meghan wasn't just losing Paris, she was losing the narrative. The real climax of Fashion Week wasn't the Balenciaga runway or the street-style photos. It was that collective realization spreading through timelines and tabloids alike. Meghan Markle, once untouchable, had officially lost her shine. Her image wasn't just slipping, it was crumbling in real time. And when Paris decides to strip away someone's glamour, the whole world pays attention. But what came next was even colder. The fallout that followed Meghan long after the city lights faded. When the final flashes went dark and the cameras were packed away, Meghan Markle was left standing in silence. Not applause, not admiration, not even outrage, just silence. And in the world of fashion, silence is fatal. It's the unspoken rejection that tells you the room has already moved on. Reports claim that after the show, her team went into panic mode, scrambling to set up brand meetings, partnerships, anything to keep her relevance alive. But doors that once swung wide open now stayed tightly shut. One insider told Page Six, "Nobody wants to be the one to take that risk, not after Paris." That single comment said it all. Because this wasn't just about an outfit or a controversial car ride. This was about credibility. Fashion houses run on cultural currency, and Meghan's Paris moment had bankrupted hers overnight. Even fans noticed the shift. Comment sections that once overflowed with heart emojis now dripped with sarcasm. One viral Instagram meme showed her in borrowed couture with the caption, "Return by Monday, savage." On TikTok, the hashtag Paris Exposed trended for 3 straight days. Videos dissected every outfit, every gesture, every look she gave, turning her supposed comeback into a cautionary tale. For someone who built her empire on admiration, the mockery hit like a public unmasking. One fan wrote, "She came for validation and left with humiliation." That comment alone racked up thousands of likes because it stung with truth. Even Hollywood started whispering. Insiders began speculating that if fashion had turned its back, the entertainment world might follow. One media analyst told The Wrap, "If you can't command loyalty in fashion, you start to look like a liability in film and TV." That's brutal, but it hit too close to home, especially since the timing lined up perfectly with other bad news. Reports that Spotify had cooled off, Netflix had scaled back, and no new global partnerships were on the horizon. Meghan's brand, once unstoppable, now looked untouchable for all the wrong reasons. Then came the cultural echo, the reminder that Paris isn't just a city of lights, it's a city that decides legacies. It's the place that crowned Diana at the Ritz, Rihanna at Dior, Audrey Hepburn at Givenchy, and just as easily, it's the place that exposes pretenders. As one French columnist wrote, "Paris has no mercy for illusion. It rewards icons, not imitators." And that line, that dagger of truth, summed up Meghan's entire week. She didn't just lose Paris, she lost her pedestal. One French columnist put it bluntly, "Paris forgives scandal, but it never forgives imitation." That single line summed up Meghan's entire week. She didn't reinvent herself in Paris. She accidentally reminded the world of exactly what she wasn't. And the fallout didn't just stop with her, it hit Harry too. Just days after the Fashion Week fiasco, paparazzi photos showed him looking drained and distant in California. Instantly, speculation exploded. Fans wondered if Paris had shaken the couple privately, if tension was brewing behind closed doors. Was Harry forced to defend that tunnel moment all over again? Or was he realizing the symbolism that the whole world saw, except her? Either way, the cracks in their carefully built narrative were now visible to everyone. The Duchess, who once seemed untouchable, was suddenly standing in the spotlight. Not glowing, but exposed. The mystique was gone, replaced with awkward headlines, viral memes, and a silence that screamed louder than applause ever could. Paris had given her what she wanted, attention, but not the kind she dreamed of. Instead of walking away as the reborn icon she hoped to be, she left as a trending topic, wrapped in whispers, irony, and public doubt. And when Paris turns on you, the rest of the world pays attention fast. Because in fashion and in fame, reputation is everything. If Paris could strip down Meghan Markle's image with one borrowed outfit and one fateful drive, just imagine what Hollywood might do when the spotlight shifts back her way. Hit that like, drop a comment, and subscribe, because the next chapter in this story might just be louder than the silence that swallowed Paris.